Well, hey parents, welcome to our parents meeting. Woo! That you didn't know we were having, but I just dropped it in your email box. On this fine Wednesday evening, September, I already forgot, I just did this. September 8th, that's right. As you're watching this, or if you're watching this later, not tonight, then your students are being revealed. They're having a reveal as we speak tonight at XSM about where we're going on our 2021 or 2022 missions trip.
Right.
And I got great news. Every 2 years we go on one missions trip for our teenagers. But last year we had to cancel.
It was sad.
Because of COVID. And we're praying and hoping that doesn't happen again this year. That we're excited about what God has to do. So we're going to come back and we're going to provide not one, but two options this year for a missions trip for our students. And we're really excited about both of these options. And we're hoping and praying that our students would choose at least one of them. And maybe some of them want to choose both. But yeah, we think these are really great options for our students to be engaged in reaching the lost all across the world. And that's a big heart of ours at Cross Points Church.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know, this is Cooper Hartwick. He is our youth director.
Yes.
I'm Pastor Nick. I'm our next gen pastor. This is Pastor Mark, our missions pastor.
Hello.
This is Joel Holland. He is our missions director.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Missions director. So now you know all the faces on board. So this is a super casual meeting. I'm just gonna start revealing where we're going, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about what that trip may look like. And we're doing this all in one take. So
One take.
So this is a raw conversation that you're about to have.
That's right.
Just be real. I'm just being real. So I'm gonna let our youth director announce where our very first trip is this year. Are you ready? Drum roll.
We are going to Reynosa, Mexico.
That's right. Reynosa, Mexico. When is that?
That is December 26th through December 31st.
Yep. So they're not gonna miss Christmas.
Nope.
They'll be back in time for New Year's Eve celebration.
Yep.
Woo!
That's
So it's that perfect pocket of them to do something really good with their Christmas break.
Yeah. What a better time than to go on a mission?
Yeah. Questions parents are gonna have. How much is this gonna be?
So this trip is around $1,200.
Around 1,200 or 1,200?
1,200.
$1,200 on the dot.
On the dot. Don't say around
I
1,200.
was just trying to say, on
That's
the dot.
ambiguous. Parents want to know specifics.
Ambiguous.
Okay.
Good
So
word.
$1,200, December 26th through the 31st.
Yep.
You're going to be going. We're going to be
I'm
bringing a
going.
team of students
That's
and
right.
leaders.
That's right.
So it's going to be exciting. Are you excited?
I am super excited. I've been on 5 mission trips with the youth and with this church, and I am super excited about these mission trips we're going on this year. They're going to be amazing.
So let's shift to our missions department. The experts on board. Look at them.
Look at him.
Ready.
They're well
Stroking
traveled.
his beard.
Joel hasn't gotten a haircut
It's been months.
in months.
It's been months.
Because he's been traveling the world. So Pastor Mark, I have not been to Reynosa, Mexico missions trip. How long have we been doing this trip as a church?
As a church, I don't know, because we've been here long before I came here. Probably 15 to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've gone every year except for one year since I've been here over the last 8 years. So
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Joel, have you been?
I have. I've been, not this past year, but the year before.
Yep.
And I was a little freaked out because I know nothing about building houses or any of that. But as soon as I got there, I realized there's something here for everybody. That's awesome.
Now you just said something that they maybe didn't know. What are we going to be doing in Reynosa, Mexico? You spilled the beans a little bit.
Yeah, so we're going to be building a house. We're going to be building not just a house, but a home for a family that doesn't have one, which includes painting, bringing in stuff for them to have, and literally building the structure from the ground up.
Yeah. And Pastor Mark and I were talking about other opportunities for our youth team because we're going to be going with our church at large. We're going to have our youth team that are going together, but as a part of a bigger group as well. So
but I have information you don't even know yet.
I want to know information.
So I was talking with our missionaries, Roland, Carol, and Ashby. They live in Texas, but they've been doing this. We'll have 2 or 3, maybe 400 American teams will be crossing the border into Mexico together. And we're literally, you can see, we're on the river where we're building this house. But right now, with all the things that have been happening in our country, there's literally thousands of people stuck at the border trying to come in the country. And they're trying to come, thousands. And so they're all living in these huts. So our missionaries are doing work with all these people. They're taking food, they're taking toilet paper, they're taking food, They're going down and planting churches. And so Roland just called me this morning. He's like, we need your help. And so they're coming to ask the church what we can do. So we're going down to build a house for people that want to stay in Mexico, but we have all these refugees there. Like, can we help? Can we take a day and go work with them, take them food, go distribute, probably do some like an open air service with them, and share the gospel with them. So we're definitely going to be taking the youth group, and Roland said we'll make that happen. So I'm excited for that.
So open air services, you just mentioned that. What that is basically we bring our team and we've prepared maybe like a drama or skit or some music or something, some testimonies, and we will just plop down in the street. And sometimes we have a sound system, sometimes we don't. And we will begin performing and gathering. And it's amazing at different countries, people will start to gather.
They were totally there.
They will gather and they'll start watching the skits that our team's performing, students sharing testimony, the gospel being presented. It's pretty awesome. And that's super exciting. So building a house, some open air meetings. There's also a bunch of kids that... Tons of kids that live in the dump or near the dump?
Near the dump.
Near the dump.
Yep.
So there's a dump there that...
There's a big citywide dump that they bring in these corpse carts from all over town. It gets dumped there, and then the people in the community go through it. It's kind of like a big recycling center. And they are the poorest of the poor. But they live there. It's their home. They've been living there for like 10, 15 years. And so we'll be distributing food with them and loving on them and playing with the kids in that community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just a super rich soil for ministry.
Yes.
And one of the things that we want to do this year, and I don't think we said this yet.
We haven't.
So this trip, we want to do something different we've never done.
Never.
In the youth ministry.
Never done.
As far as I've been in for the last 20 plus years.
Okay.
So this year, we are taking 6th through 12th graders.
Ooh. Young ones.
Young ones.
Yes.
So typically our missions trips we reserve for senior high only because we're traveling super far away and we can't afford for somebody a junior higher that's like, oh, my mom. But like this is such a short trip and such a close trip, and we've done this trip so many different times that Pastor Mark was like, this would be a super great trip for junior hires just to wade in the water. And it's so close. We're literally right on the border.
A mile.
So
the farthest we go.
Yeah, so we want to open up this trip, 6th through 12th graders. Really quick, before we announce our second trip opportunity that's coming up this summer, I want to just ask a quick question that I know is the number one question on parents' minds. Safety. What's the safety of this type of trip? I know you know it inside and out, so give your expertise.
When you research, I know you're going to research, your parents are researching, you're going to look up, and the number one thing they're concerned about is the cartel. Now, the cartel is there, but Roland, Carolyn, our missionaries have been there. They love us coming. We've had zero problems with hundreds and hundreds of teams for the last 15, 20 years that Roland and Carolyn have been working down there. And they know when we drive in, you see the little boys have walkie-talkies, they come in, but the cartel wants us to be there because they want us to help their people. And the cartel, what you see on the news is about cartel against cartel, but it's not about their people. These are the people that they love and care for, a lot of their families, and so it's safe. It's super safe. We stay in a hotel that's like an American nice hotel. We eat all the food that they provide for us. It's great food, great safety place to be, and literally it's right by the border. So if there's any kind of medical issue, we just within 10 minutes will be right across the border to American hospital. Although I've done it for years, we've not had anybody have an accident. So it's very, very safe. Very great place. We have taken lots of family teams, like with little kids.
Young kids that go.
Pastor Dave and his wife Heather, they took Ethan and Jack when they were little kids. So it's a very family place, and that's why we feel it's safe to bring 6th, 7th, 8th graders to come.
Yeah.
I would just add too that not only does it feel safe, the location where we're staying, but it's a rich community. Like where you go, there's other churches there partnering together, and so for me, it was a really good balance of pouring out and serving the community, and then when you come home at the end of the day, there's other people there to worship with you and just really encourage each other. So it's safe, but it's also just like a really rich environment.
That's awesome. So we talked about this the other day. I'm going to ask you a question on camera. Were we able to have the parents' informational meeting with Roland on he's in town? So he's coming. Roland Ashby and Karen Ashby are coming in town in 2 weeks on September 19th. And after our Sunday service,
It'll be in the fellowship hall.
it'll be in the fellowship hall in the back by the
Yep.
kids area. And you'll get to talk with Roland and Carolyn, ask any questions that you may have. We'll serve some lunch up. Compliments of the missions department, youth department.
Sure.
We'll look at the budget later.
Yeah.
But we'll be providing some food for that event. So I just want to encourage you, even if you're interested, slightly interested, or you're like, no, I'm curious if my team would like this, come out to that meeting and meet Roland and Carolyn, and let's just discuss what the Mexico mission trip will look like.
Yep.
And then also we'll discuss a little bit, we can answer some questions about our second missions trip that we're going to be providing for our students. And I'll let you get to be the hero.
Yes.
You share, unless parents aren't excited that you get to be.
We're gonna drum. Our second mission trip we are going to is to Thailand. Thailand.
Woo! So, in case you didn't know, you're new to XSM, we travel the world.
The world.
We travel the world. We are unashamed. We are not scared to take our students into places that are far away.
Yeah.
And I personally have led these missions trips with Pastor Mark over the last 13 years, and they have been some of the best experiences our students have ever experienced. I cannot stress that. They come back from these trips with their life changed.
Yeah.
So why do we travel so far? Because it helps our students to have a new outlook on the world. They get to experience something new and different, but also because we believe that their life will be changed.
Yeah.
So this trip is not for junior hires.
No, sorry, junior hires, it's not for you. This one is specifically for 9th through 12th graders.
And when is it going to be?
It's going to be the mid-July, towards the end of July.
Yep, mid-July. And then how much approximately will it cost?
So approximately $3,000.
So here's what you need to know about this trip. Every year, we give a broad stroke of this trip because we want to let you know early so you can begin praying about it. But the reality is we have no idea what plane tickets are going to cost.
Yep.
We are still figuring out like the actual missions work on the ground there. And then the dates pertain a lot to the flight costs. So we try to fly out on a Tuesday sometimes. So we give you as much information as we can without saying this is what it is,
Right.
Yeah.
and then getting your hopes up, and then we change it all later. So when we say around $3,000, that's a pretty close estimate based on what we know right now. And mid-July is our target. We always try to target mid-July to end of July for our missions trips that we go on. So this trip we're going to have a little bit less information for you about. It's more of the shot over the bow, and then we want you to start praying about it. But Mark does know, Pastor Mark does know a lot about Thailand, and we didn't just like point to the map and guess it. Like this was a thoughtful decision that we made. So even though we don't know all the specifics, give us what you got.
Thailand is a very open, very friendly community country. So I've been there 3 times, and we've done lots of open air services. It's very open to the gospel. And so that's one of the reasons why we picked there, because we want to have the kids be able to see fruit.
Yeah.
As they share the gospel,
Yeah.
people are going to come to know the Lord. And so that's going to be great. There's lots of missions work that happens in Bangkok, and also Chiang Mai is another town that we may think that we go there.
Chiang Mai is north, right? North, Bangkok is south.
Yep. And so there's lots of missionaries who've been working there, so we'll have people that can help us set it up to have a great, safe, amazing outreach, but also people there that are going to follow up with our teams, because our teams are going to go there and they're going to share the gospel, and those people need to be discipled. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And when we chose this missions trip, it was you talking to our missionaries.
yes,
In person, you were talking to them about, hey, where would be a great place
That's
for
true.
students to go to?
Yeah.
And so,
they both separately suggested we go to Thailand, and that was the country that I was praying
and
for.
there are missionaries that are over that direction.
They have been in China, both of them.
Yeah, so they know the area, they know Thailand, and they were like, this would be a fantastic place for your team to go.
Yep.
You been to Thailand?
I have been to Thailand.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not know. When I
Yeah,
asked the
yeah.
question, I was
I was
expecting it to be
like-
a no, and then I'm like, okay, you have nothing to say.
I was like 11, so.
So you have
Excited.
nothing, you have nothing to
Tell us your great experience.
There were a lot of elephants. I remember the
Ooh,
food
elephants?
being pretty good.
That's
Me and
cool.
Pastor Mark have a little bit of a different opinion on what our
On the
preference is.
I
But
like
I
the food.
remember it being good,
Yeah.
pretty good. So people
Cool.
were super kind.
Yeah.
And lots of elephants. I don't know if we'll see elephants. Maybe we will.
Yep.
Hopefully.
You touched on this a little bit when you just said open country, but like, what about safety? Parents are going to ask about safety. Like, how does this pertain?
Well, again, like on every outreach, Nick likes to do things really extreme, and I try to keep him safe. No, that's not true. want to protect our kids.
Absolutely.
So does Cooper, right?
Yep.
And so that always comes first. And so we'll be having safe environments where we are eating, where we're sleeping, where we're traveling. And then ministry is going to be led by the teams and the Christians that are there. And they know that we're bringing the youth team. And so we always have that in mind, safety first.
Yep.
But we want to go to places where they need to hear the gospel. So sometimes those places are a little needy.
Yeah.
And maybe not what we're used to, but we've never been afraid and never had issues. And we're always very wise. So we are very careful where we're going into. Because we have youth, we take that into account.
Yeah. And I'll say this, of all the trips we've ever led, it's always scarier the thought of like something that could happen. But when you're on the missions trip, it's always a super like safe environment that our missionaries have created for us, where we're able to do ministry and not be bothered by a scary situation. I can honestly say this, I've not been worried one time on all the student mission trips we've taken them on, because our missionaries are so awesome at helping us set up a super safe ministry outreach.
Absolutely.
And Pastor Mark is diligent on that front to make that happen. And we talk about it all the time. Like, that's the main thing. Okay, what does this look like? How safe is this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how can we make it awesome? Let's go. Like, let's reach people for Jesus.
Yeah.
So this is for 9th through 12th graders. It's a little more extreme trip, a little bit more money, but I just want to encourage you as parents, and I'm getting there. My kids are going to be students in the youth ministry, and I'm going to absolutely push them and support them to go on these missions trips. If you're worried about the money, I can say this: not one time in 13 years has a student not raised the money when they were trying their hardest. And even the ones that failed to try their hardest, somehow God came through. And I shake my head, I'm like, come on, you didn't send out support letters? Are you kidding me, right? But if we send out support letters, we do some fundraisers, they're able to come up with the money. God does provide. And I know that's a concern of yours as parents, but as much as I can tell you, just don't be concerned about that. Like, it will be provided if your kids are diligently working, especially if this is their first missions trip.
Yep.
First missions trip, you send out support letters, people are like, yes, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we're super excited about these trips.
So excited.
Cooper is, Mark, Joel, myself, our team, our church, Pastor David. Let's go. We're excited about it, so let's begin to have a conversation about it and show up to the meeting here in a couple of weeks, September 19th. Right after service, right about 11:45, and we'll eat some dinner and talk about these 2 missions trips. That would be fantastic.
Maybe some lunch too.
Some lunch?
Dinner.
Oh, eat dinner? Oh, I just got back from South Dakota. They call it lunch, dinner, dinner, supper. So,
Kansas say lunch.
yeah, I know. Sorry, we're back in
Lunch.
All right, guys. So, parents, we love you so much. We're here to support you and your students and help you and your student have the best experience in these precious years of their life. So, consider these mission trips, and we'll talk to you later.
Dang.
Bye.